Everybody, and welcome to Talk Chain, the podcast where we get into all things crypto. Today we're going to talk about the Weiss crypto ratings. A lot of drama going on with what they ranked. A, B, C, who the hell knows? We're also going to get into how apparently the CEO of TD Ameritrade has never seen client cash at this low a level. Rob, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. A lot of green in the markets today, I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's great news actually because I was getting a little worried.
Yeah, it had been pretty sad before this, and it seems like these Weiss credit ratings sort of rocked the landscape out there. And so I have it up right now, and it looks like they took them down, or somebody, it wasn't like easy to access them, so I had to go to some Steemit article where they were posted. But I'm seeing a lot of C plus, a lot of D's here.
Yeah, they originally had it as a free PDF, but decided to put it behind a paywall after, I don't know, somebody told them that they might be able to make money off of it.
But that's the thing. It seems like this whole thing is just a scam. Like, it's just to get people to buy their dumb newsletter.
That could be true. Well, why put it out for free in the first place, though? That seems stupid.
Well,
like, just
yeah.
bad business.
Yeah, it doesn't seem prudent if you're going to, like, force people after, given that, you know, if you let something out on the internet, it's gone after that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everyone downloaded it. But,
yeah. But, so, it was interesting because you and I were talking, and we'd never heard of this Weiss company before everybody in crypto started talking about this.
Nothing at all. I actually looked a little bit into it, and it looks like they were a reputable rating company from like the early 90s to the early 2000s, because whatever their predictions were appeared to be pretty correct, even more so than I forget the rating companies that exist now, but
Moody's, S&P.
Yeah, Moody's, S&P, both of those. It was more reputable than both of those at one point. And that is no longer the case.
Yeah.
They have been in trouble a couple times with the SEC for kind of essentially doing like the classic shill of some things that they have interest in.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and I was like, part of me wonders if they're in a couple of these.
Yeah, well, so I brought this up, and anybody who hasn't seen our earlier videos, they are true masterpieces, so please go and watch those, because I get into this when Jamie Dimon starts rattling his goddamn mouth about, you know, oh, Bitcoin's a fraud, it's a downright fraud, and he would fire anybody who was investing in it if he worked for him, and they always have some sort of backdoor play that they're doing. And this is probably no different. And it's always, you know, they're supposed to report everything to the SEC, but come on, they all have like affiliations with other companies, and there's no way that some of these people behind this don't have some sort of skin in the game.
Well, no, and it's tough because you already have some sort of bias, even in the coins that I've researched, because I know more about them. I'm going to have decent amount of bias. So I wonder if it's a team of people researching these 73 coins or how that would all go down. But it's interesting to see some of the results. So,
yeah, so I think one of the ones that came out to me is Cardano, B minus.
B minus. It's interesting. It's interesting. Like they have, I think they're in the top 5 for market cap today. Yeah, number 5. No product though.
No product, Rob, but B minus. And so, you know, we can go through all these, and it's interesting. But so I'm pulling up the different ways that they rate the coins. So they have their own proprietary formula that they use for everything, and they keep into consideration like a risk index, a reward index, technology index, and fundamental index.
Right.
And this sort of somehow spits out a rating, and this is what they go with.
Interesting. Yeah. So, well, I suppose that just based on the team that Cardano has, that might be able to get it past the C rating that most other coins have gotten, but.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's hard to really know what the details of this is, because if the reward index happens to be tenfold higher than the risk index, then it just gets a higher rating. Or if the technology happens to be higher. But the funny thing is, like, how do they rate, for a lot of these coins that don't have a product, are they rating the potential technology? So, yeah. I don't know. Personally, I don't trust any single rating agency because most of them are sort of doing backhanded dealings. So it's all kind of like, it's not the most honest stuff. And I wouldn't trust this more than I trust my own judgment.
No, you really should, again, do your own research. That's essentially the only thing that can happen. What's interesting about these is I think at least 4 of the 5 Bs are platforms.
Yeah, it does seem that way. So EOS, Ethereum, Neo, Cardano is supposed to be a platform, and then right. Steam are the only ones that are B. And so Steam is a website. It's not really, I guess it's a platform then.
Yeah, well, if people are going to trade it for value, I suppose it could be worth something.
Well, they've got like a novel idea, and I think something that stands out here, despite the Cardano thing, is they're sort of big picture coins, and these might be the ones that have the most long-term potential. Because if you're thinking about Ethereum and EOS, they're platforms that people can build off of. And I'm kind of surprised that Ethereum isn't higher than EOS, given how much more Ethereum is being used right now.
Well, they mentioned that the reason that Ethereum wasn't an A was because of the issues that they had around CryptoKitties and how it kind of clogged up the system.
Yeah, and actually the hack that happened last year, I think maybe it was 2 years ago now, that might look poorly on Ethereum.
Yeah, definitely. No A's at all, which is interesting because you would think that there would be some sort of, even just a standard of which one, whatever the best one is, give that one an A.
But you know what? I think I want to give them credit for this because it seems like they have they're trying to make this A through F or A through D rating scale, and they're doing it with all different investment instruments. So given that crypto is so unregulated and, you know, we have no idea about the fundamentals behind these companies. We've never seen a financial statement. All we have is this white paper that actual companies who are publicly traded are held to a higher standard. So I'm actually kind of impressed that they're keeping within sort of a reasonable line and that they're not going nuts and saying that Bitcoin is an A+.
No, I guess that makes sense. I guess it'll make it more understandable if if you invest in Potcoin or Quark or Novacoin, any of these coins with these, like if you lose some money on it, like you kind of should have saw it coming, to be honest. But
yeah, and that's the thing. So if the risk index that they use to evaluate these coins is very, very high, and I would argue that every single crypto right now is very high risk, higher risk than equities right now, then, you know, they shouldn't have an A, they shouldn't have a B, because you could lose all your money tomorrow if something bad comes out.
Definitely. And the worst part about it is they could lose all their money if something bad comes out about Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like the ultimate volatility for everything.
Yeah, and it goes back to sort of regulation. Like, government could really change all of this. I don't see the government coming in and shutting down the NASDAQ and saying we can no longer trade companies on the NASDAQ. Like, the odds of that happening are substantially lower than if government comes out and says it's illegal to trade Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. There's some surprising ones. There's some surprising ones on here that. Sorry, go ahead.
I never heard of some of these coins.
Like, I haven't either. No Tron on here.
Yeah, and where is Tron?
That's what I'm looking for most of the time.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. And even VE coin isn't on here. VE chain isn't on here.
Yeah, but Verge is. Like, what's going on?
So I wonder, like, maybe they, you know, in my wildest fantasies, they just like picked the names, like picked 100 names that they thought were in the business, and these guys don't know anything. They just quickly stuck. They pretty much copy and pasted the coin market cap data, and then just picked letters for it and just said go.
I can't be that way. Like like if it's coin market cap, then Tron is in the top 10, VeChain's in the top 30. Like it some of them just aren't really like, what is Whitecoin and why does Whitecoin have
ecosystem of crypto? So, you know, people are getting on board. Rating agencies are actually looking at crypto, which you'd never heard of before. So I think overall, it's good for crypto.
What'll be interesting, I think, is let's say they do this again. Let's say they do it every quarter. Then whatever they're interested in, like whatever they want to put some money in, they could shift it from C- to B, or D to B, or to C.
Yeah, and so all of this stuff is changing. So they said this themselves, that these aren't static ratings. They move as new information comes to light. Use their stupid index and they change everything, and all of this could be different in 6 months or a year. And you know, I think people are going to hold their feet to the fire a little bit with this.
Yeah, it's a good chance for a quick pump if anyone's interested. Like let's look. So if you pull up CoinMarketCap and look at Steam is up over 50% today. So it's clearly had some impact. So and now it's up to 653, number 25 in market cap. And
there you go.
I didn't even know what Steam was yesterday. So there we are. Like you know, we have a Steam account apparently. But I had never heard of it, and I wasn't entirely sure what the platform was for. So
we have an account. We haven't posted anything yet, but everybody who's watching, get ready for a lot of posts on Steam.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Steam for our first post.
Maybe this video will be it. Who knows?
Ooh, that's a good idea. But no, and this is happening throughout, really. Like Cardano 13%. None of the other ones are as high, but Cardano 13. Stellar's doing okay. It's 16. Neo 15%. They are making some actual moves here. So when it looks like the market as a whole kind of going up like 5% today.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't think it changes anything fundamentally, and it's getting more exposure, and especially these altcoins that usually don't have as much exposure as Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's good for everybody, especially the coins that no one's ever heard of before that have somehow made this list.
Yeah, true. So related to this actually is this article I found on Zero Hedge, and it came out yesterday. And sorry for not coming on yesterday, guys. I feel like I was missing something in my heart when I couldn't do the podcast.
Well, based on the view count, it doesn't look like anybody missed Matt yesterday. Things have worked out pretty well.
So, moving on. The article I want to get to is from Zero Hedge, which is kind of skewed, but you know, they always predict the end of the world. But the interesting thing I wanted to bring up is that it's they took quotes from the TD Ameritrade conference call that happened yesterday, and the CEO, TD Ameritrade, for those who don't know, is a brokerage, and they're a big connector of people to stocks and buying stocks and equities and mutual funds and everything. So apparently he warns that he's never seen client cash levels this low. So this means that there are a lot of people who are invested in equities. And I think it's important to look at this because it's showing how much people are looking for yield. They're looking to get a return, and they're not being very risk averse. So when we relate this to crypto, I don't know what the values are in terms of client cash levels as opposed to Bitcoin, but if people are this invested in equities, we can assume that it's probably similar in crypto, and that people are very, very willing to take risk in order to get a good yield.
That makes total sense. It's tough when the target rate in the US is 1.25%, I think, something around that amount, and the prime rate in Canada 1.25%. Where is anyone supposed to put their money? Like, if you put it into a savings account, you get maybe 2%. That would be on your best day here. And that means you're essentially just breaking even. That's really less than inflation. So people are just trying to hang on to their money for the most part.
Yeah, yeah, it seems that way. And but also given that um, people are always talking about how the bubble is getting big, everything's getting big, and we have seen a pullback in crypto anyway. We haven't really seen a pullback in
You're
equities at
seeing
all.
a
So
massive pump.
in
Equities. Yeah.
what equities? Yeah, equities great right now. Everybody open up a Robinhood account, or if you're in Canada, I don't know what you use,
Quest trade.
Questrade, but and buy some ETFs because it is awesome. But I think it's going to be very, and so the chart that I have up now is actually mutual funds. So not only are retail investors invested quite a bit, but mutual funds are invested almost 93%. So a lot of big players are highly invested in the equity markets. So something to keep in mind, and that if the bubble does pop, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for
It's
for
gonna
everybody.
be insane. I look forward to
But
it.
yeah, and also I think this also suggests that people should be diversified in a bunch of different asset classes. So not only diversified within crypto between your platform apps and your coin apps or whatever, but get into other markets, get into equities, get into real estate, get into gold. For everybody who can't stop talking about Bitcoin as a store of value, the original store of value, gold, still has value. So it wouldn't hurt to diversify into that
That
if you
being
can.
said, Bitcoin will pump super hard. Not financial advice, but will pump super hard when everything goes to hell.
I've been thinking about this, and the U.S. dollar right now, the
Hmm.
DXY, people probably don't follow this too much, but it's actually fallen below a very important support level, and that's why we've seen a bit of a pump in gold right now. And if you're comparing Bitcoin to gold, it's they don't follow too well right now, but as Bitcoin becomes bigger and bigger, we might see it sort of follow gold, and that it's a bit of an inverse of the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, I could see that at some point. And it'll
I
take
mean,
a massive hit for the dollar to shake too hard. But if people are right,
yeah, that's true.
you never know.
But the pairs that Bitcoin has is only USD right now. So because you can only trade Bitcoin against USD, it's not really, if the dollar tanks, obviously Bitcoin is increasing in value just from the nature of
Right.
the pair. But that may change. It'd be nice to exchange my gold for Bitcoin or to buy equities with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it would be nice. Well, and I'm sure eventually you
But
can just transfer it for fiat, but no one's getting out of crypto. You're not getting out. Good luck, bro.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I'm committed for quite a long haul. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
no, we all are. We all think it's a long-term game, even though short-term trades may happen in between.
Yeah, yeah. So anything coming up short term that you want to talk about?
Short term, still hanging on to Icon, hanging on to
Yeah,
Stellar Lumens, up 20% after Stripe dropped Bitcoin. Um, it's
yeah.
yeah, so it's doing pretty well.
That's Yeah, that's good news. Good news for Stellar holders, which I am. I'm holding more than I think I want to at this point, but you know, I'm gonna let it ride. I might sell some of my position once I start to see a little weakness in this
Yeah,
pump.
well, one of the interesting things is CNBC talked about it today. Talked about
Oh, really?
Stripe possibly adding it. So yeah, they're getting
Huh?
really involved actually. I don't know if they got one dude on the team who really he's heavy into crypto that they're adding this 5 minute daily portion, but there is that some trouble in the BitGrail community with their I think it's their CEO or their founder. He made a
Yeah.
post. So what's happened is nobody can withdraw their RAI blocks from BitGrail without having a verified account now. So this came into effect today.
Mm.
So what has happened is people who have been waiting to be verified are getting a little upset people who have not applied to be verified are thinking that this person may disappear or the team may disappear, and so will their ride blocks. So I forget his name, but he posted on Reddit, anyone who is accusing him of that, he's really threatening people, saying anyone who is accusing us of doing this, then give me the email that you signed up to BitGrail with, and you'll see some consequences that were not named. So it's it's interesting, but maybe it's good that he's so offended. So so he is on Reddit. His username is thebomber9, and he said, "Get out of your anonymity." Great word. "Let me have your registration email on BitGrail if you dare."
Jesus.
So it's not what you'd like to see from someone who's running an exchange probably worth quite a bit of money. But people knew that this day was coming once KuCoin added ride blocks, and Binance is set to add ride blocks. Since it's really their only coin, it's kind of going to take away their competitive advantage.
Yeah, unless they have something else to offer than ride blocks, I don't see any reason why people are just going to stop using them, and that's pretty much what I've done.
Well, it's unfortunate because they could do exactly what KuCoin did, which is no one else has. They do now, but Deep Rain Chain, Dragon Chain, Oyster Pearl. There's just some other ones. They just take some niche markets. They just put them on the exchange and see if anyone's interested in the project. That could be exactly what BitGrail did. But who's going to work with this guy after he's freaking out?
Yeah, no, it's pretty embarrassing to do that. Companies should have somebody who knows what they're doing with marketing, and the executives should really not need to interact that closely.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that,
well, there you go. You heard it from Rob yourself. Do not use BitGrail.
No, well, and if you have anything in there, looks like you're gonna have a little bit of a wait before. I think the wait time is like a couple months or so for approval for to be verified. So hopefully everything turns out okay.
Yeah, hopefully. And KuCoin has XRB, so you can transfer it there. Even though there's a wait, just do it. Show this guy what's
up. Well, I wonder if they cannot withdraw anything, or if they can do like a transfer to Bitcoin and then withdraw to anywhere else.
Oh, hopefully. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how.
No, well, this just changed today, and I took mine out a couple weeks ago because somebody posted that this might happen. So, yeah.
Damn.
I got scared. It was an important $100. So,
yeah, I bet. Well, so if somebody doesn't have a Binance account, please use mine or Rob's referrals in the description below. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, like, or comment. And
let's hear some opinions. What do you think about? What are some disappointments that you had for the Weiss ratings? Or what are some pleasant surprises? Did you have some of these bottom 50 coins that no one's ever heard of that you're pretty excited about? That would be an interesting turn of events for you.
Yeah, and check us out on Stitcher, Google, Pocket Casts, and
Steam,
iTunes, please, and Steam. Oh, and follow us on Twitter at TalkChainPod. I think I got it all.
No, that's it.